And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning. Welcome to the market forecast. Looks like I picked the wrong thumbnail this morning. Friday, April the 8th. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. I got a little dog moosing me over here for pets. Lacey says good morning, everybody. I say good morning, everybody. If you're in the markets already, hopefully things are going your way. As always, we're focusing on context, risk management, and focusing on staying patient and staying in our strategy, staying in our process. Some important things coming out today. 9 o'clock wholesale inventory, probably not going to be all that impactful, but at 11 o'clock, crop production comes out, and this is going to be an important one for any of you that are trading in the grains, meats. The world food prices are increasing at an alarming rate. It's the fastest since they started recording. 12.6% in March alone. It's 34% on the year. Food more expensive. So at 11 o'clock, the crop progress and world agriculture supply and demand estimates due out. Might be worth a look, just to, even if you don't trade it, to see what happens at 11 o'clock in the ags, meats. This can affect everything, ladies and gentlemen. It can affect everything. Right now, U.S. stocks are set to open higher, ignoring higher Treasury yields. Crude seems to be pricing in and comfortable down below $100 a barrel again. As far as the VIX, the dollar index, and the 10-year yield, VIX is down about 1%, 21.3. Dollar index up slightly at another 52-week high here, 99.94, and the 10-year yield up 2.68%. Make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling and love are always welcome here at Top Step. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notification when we do go live. Again, my apologies for the confusion as to whether this is the market forecast or the market recap. As far as I can tell, we haven't gone through the trading day yet. Please, today, every day, all weekend, pray for all those in harm's way in this horrible war invasion into Ukraine. It affects all of us. I know it affects everybody here deeply. I know it affects me deeply, so please continue to pray. I'm going to say good morning to everybody. I saw we have Zach first in the room. You win the prize. My brother Rick, thank goodness it's Friday. I love you, brother. Zach, good morning. Jeff, Tachyon, good morning. Dan Trader, Scott Saw, and he conquered. Chilling with Dylan. Little tilt yesterday morning. Hopefully get back on track today. Just remember patience. Tell yourself before you do anything. Just take 1 second and say out loud, is this in my best interest? And if you can't say yes, don't do it. Dan, thanks again for noticing I put the wrong thumbnail up there. I apologize again. Brian, Nico, Bill, good morning. Ron, Brody, Andre, Jaclo. There's a new name I haven't seen. Welcome to the Market Forecast. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Devont. No, I did not put anything in my coffee this morning. I swear this is coffee. If you could see, there it is. It's coffee, and there's nothing in it. Apparently, I might have needed a little bit more of it than I had already this morning. Stephen, Liam, good morning from Detroit. Terry King, Roy, my guy, my lion, my guy waiting in the weeds looking for that wildebeest to limp on by. Glitter Sandwich, good morning. Marcelo, Frederico. Dan, good morning. Overnight session saw out stops from yesterday's regular trading high. Let's see what today brings. Yeah, I think that rally yesterday was pretty emotional and a little bit hollow. We're going to see that in the charts very shortly. ZK Expediter Dean, George, good morning. Good. Trader, today will be a profit day. Good. I'm hoping that for everybody. Monkey Gains, Zachary, Manuel Caesar, Three Lions Insight, Rusty Golfer. That could be my name. Theo, good morning. Devant, last two New York sessions, low of the day was 44.40.50 to the tick. Unbelievable yesterday. It's incredible how visual markets are. We got just a little too short down there, and we squeezed those shorts all the way up. Trading Research, good morning. Shaw, Charles, David, happy Friday to you too. Yeah, just tell us where the markets will end today. I wish I could do that. Man, I would be wildly popular if that was the case. Had to burn practice count to prove to myself 5-hook strategy on the move is not a good idea. Just need to find better entries and be patient. Patience always seems to pay. Tachyon, good to see you this morning. Michael, Robert S., yes, sir. Ray, yep. I know you're stalking your prey as we speak. Juan Palomino, is there 2 pictures in your wall? I felt weird writing this. The man with the mustache. The man with the mustache, that's John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. This man with the mustache is Jim Croce. Was wondering when somebody was going to ask about those. Juan, Sarah Hall, good dawn, good morning, prayers and love to you too. That's a lovely 20-day SMA. Yeah, I put that on the chart for you, Dan. Rob T, good morning. Yeah, she's always ready for more treats. There was always people. I live next door to a school, and there's always people walking by with their kids and their dogs, taking their kids to school in the morning. And so she sits there and just watches them and cries and moans because she's not out there with them. And we'll get her out there soon. She's a big baby. All right. Oh, yeah. What a drummer is right. I've got all kinds of pictures, and I figure I'll just kind of change things up once in a while and change them up. Oh, boy. Tons of activity. Yep. Yeah, she's back over here getting pet. She likes a good butt scratch. Good girl. Okay. All right. Let's get set here and open up, taking a look at the E-mini S&Ps coming off the overnight highs as we speak. All right. Got to get the right thing going here. All right. All right, so the E-mini S&Ps. Wow, what a move yesterday. Double bottom to the tick as they were pointing out here this morning. Who was that was pointing that out? Devant. Devant was pointing that out. All right. So here's the daily. Coming off this high, unable to really maintain anything above 4,600 last week. Now we're wrestling with last week's low. We're just seeming to be seeking balance here. I mean, our overnight high is just a little bit over the high from yesterday. That emotional run up, to me, felt a little flat, a little hollow. Volume wasn't all that great, which it usually isn't on up days. But the open interest is what concerns me. We added 1,500 in open interest only on a big move like that, on low volume, low open interest, tells me that that auction yesterday is suspect. We got to watch for the opposite moves like we did yesterday, because those opposite moves can be vicious. I think we've already had our vicious upside move off that low. We got a little bit too short. So take a look at the 30 here. So it appears as though almost that we kind of put in a late spike, but I'm not necessarily calling this a true late spike because we had some time to establish some balance up here, and we're still in that area of late balance that we established yesterday. I'm thinking that my dream level for today is our overnight low, 44.91.75, because that is the point where the market really started to accelerate to the upside. I mean, it started earlier than that, but I think that level is important because it's the high of this bar and the low of this bar and the low of the overnight and the low of last week and settlement. I think that there's some fish to be found in this area in one direction or another. If we can't hold this level, we may find almost a value area special situation play. But if we hold this level, we may continue this market move to the upside. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just going to trade what I see. And I'm after the open, if we are in this area and we leave the opening range at one extreme or the other, that's going to be maybe my first hypothesis and my first opportunity of the day. But again, that dream location here for me is that 41.91.75. We do have some potentially overnight longs. They are pretty much already reconciled. We're not going to be opening with a gap. Pretty high probability of that. See if we open near this area, and if we can leave that opening range at one extreme or the other, might be an interesting shot. Terry, what is the value area special situation play? All right. Typically, if we were to open with a gap, if we were to open up here today and the market comes back into yesterday's range and then finds acceptance back inside the value area from yesterday, this is the value area here in red. Okay, that's 70% of the volume as it relates to the point of control. So the value area high here is 44.87. So if we were to open above and reaccept inside value from the previous session, there's a high probability that that price could return and rotate to the low of the previous day's area of value, which would put us down here at some point in this session. All right. So to be a true value area special situation, I think we have to open outside of range. We're opening outside of value with a pretty good high probability. So I think that there's still a degree of validity to the value area special situation and opening outside value, reaccepting value, and then looking at sometime during that session, a rotation back to the low of the previous day's area of value. Okay. Hopefully that explains, and feel free to ask again, and you can come to group coaching and we can get a little bit more into it. All right. So I think we're getting pretty close to the area where we may see some muskies, some northerns, and some walleye. We're going to be doing some fishing today, or as Ray likes to say, he's stalking the wildebeest. Here's crude oil. Some bets came off the table yesterday. We lost 14,000 in open interest on a test of the weekly kickoff low. Maybe some short covering, maybe some profit taking into the Friday session here. We're pretty low volume yesterday, losing 14,000 in open interest, and today we have an inside day in extended trading hours. We may just kind of rest here a little bit. We've been looking for a continuation below this trend line. We've been resistant at it. We've also found support at weekly kickoff low. If we can take out weekly kickoff low and accept, I think there's plenty of space down below, and we all are looking forward to that for prices to remain to the downside. I'm going to stay patient today We're inside extended trading hour range. Weekly kickoff low is in play. It's 94.50. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart here. Okay, we're just into the opening range here. Looks like so far the opening range is a little buoyant. So overnight inventory, where did we open? We opened right here. We're right here. Not a whole lot of overnight inventory with which to work with. Visual targets are available for us on both sides. We got last week's low here. We've got a naked point of control above. We've got weekly kickoff low below. Patience. We just took out the overnight high. Here's the 1 minute chart that's going to put up the opening range for us, hopefully, if it's going to cooperate. So we've got a pretty big opening range there. 46 ticks. We just took out the low of it. But that's a pretty rich risk. If I were a betting man, and I'm not, I would be looking for an opportunity to see the market come back into the opening range for an opportunity to limit my risk more on this trade. But we may not get that opportunity. Market looking like it might still be adjusting a little bit of overnight inventory. But when the market establishes its initial balance, that first hour of trade, some of the opportunities might be at those extremes. It's never easy. Here's the Nasdaq. Same situation, except the Nasdaq is at weekly kickoff low and finding it magnetic. Open interest yesterday, even more indicative of a hollow rally yesterday. We lost 4,500 estimated in open interest. We got a little bit too short yesterday in the S&Ps and the Nasdaq. Again, the weekly kickoff low is looking relatively magnetic because it's just hanging there. We got settlement from the day before yesterday. We got settlement from yesterday, all right in that neighborhood. So what is that telling us? Well, the market has found comfort in this level. Instead of finding it repulsive, it has found it comfortable. Points of control are very close to this weekly kickoff level. This is one of the two scenarios that I look for when it comes to approaching a weekly kickoff. I want it to repel price quickly, or if it doesn't, then we end up range bound with the weekly kickoff relatively close to that level of comfort, which is the point of control. And we don't have any overnight inventory. In the Nasdaq, we're opening in range and in value already. So I'm going to be thinking I need to try and stay patient, and at the same time looking at weekly kickoff level, which at some point will probably end up being support or resistance. We don't know when or how. So I'm going to try and stay patient. Again, in the Nasdaq, you guys are going to get so tired of hearing me say stay patient. All right. This is the 30-minute. So we're still wrestling with, I'm calling this the Vince C trend line here. We're still wrestling with it. We took one good stab above it here before and on the open, but so far it's showing signs of rejection. The horizontal grind is really continuing here. I mean, there's no direction at all in this, and we added 1,900 in open interest yesterday, but that continues to waffle, as does volume. Volume is unimpressive. Open interest is unimpressive. Direction is unimpressive. It's, what do we do? It's short time frame control. So short time frame control means that some short time frame levels are likely to be respected. And there are so many of them in and around this area that it's difficult to be able to make any kind of decision. Here's that trend line on the 30. So opened in range and in value. Just before the open, we had a little excursion above that level, which was swiftly rejected. It may be retested. Be patient. This is my dream level up here, is up against this trend line today, because it matches pretty much the high from yesterday. The later it gets, the closer it's going to be to the high of value from yesterday. So my main hypothesis for gold is do something around this trend line. Hopefully it's going to be successful, but I like it because I can limit the risk. If the price gets too far through that line, the market might be telling me that I'm wrong, and I can get out and move on with the rest of my day. I don't have to risk a lot and end my day on one or two trades. It's the thing I like about trading close to points of invalidation, is because I don't have to pay a lot to find out I'm wrong. And believe me, I can be wrong. So dream level 38, value area high. Because the later it gets in the session, the closer we're going to be coming to this trend line. So this trend line and the value area high from yesterday, kind of important levels for me. Our overnight high before this little excursion to the upside was value high from yesterday. Euro. Look at that euro. One time framing lower on the daily chart for 9 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not 9 days. We're talking 6 days, but that's a pretty good directional move there, wouldn't you say? Volume and open interest continue to increase. We added 700 in open interest yesterday on higher volume. Lower pricing, bringing higher volume and higher open interest indicates that the auction is healthy to the downside. We get a little bit of barrier here, and we know that the dollar is at 52-week highs today. My question is, are we going to have a vicious pullback? Are we going to have some profit taking at some point today? If that's the case, we certainly don't want to stand in the way of that. Are we getting too short here? Do we have too many shorts in the money here? Lots of good questions on this. So I'm getting indication mom's watching now. Hi, Mom. So take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Okay, we've got overnight shorts. We've opened with a gap. We've been unable to close the gap. What do we do then? We look for opportunities to trade in the direction of the gap, which would have us looking for shorts. Again, be careful, because we've got a whole lot of shorts in this market that are sitting on a whole bunch of money. It's Friday. Watch out for the vicious pullback. Seems to be struggling to continue to move lower. I mean, the momentum seems to be slowing here. If we can get back into range from yesterday, and certainly if we get back into value from yesterday, a move back to value high from yesterday, value area special situation play is entirely possible. You got a situation here where a weekly kickoff low is largely resistant. You have to see if that continues. And the 10-year continues to push lower as rates continue to push higher. I don't want to buy any of this unless there is the evidence of a profit-taking event, a vicious opposite move. We added 53,000 in open interest yesterday. Volume has slowed a little bit yesterday, but open interest increases, indicating that the auction process to the downside still remains relatively healthy. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. We open with a gap. We've left the gap. We have the opportunity early in the session to try and get some shorts on. I'm not really confident in anything continuing down here today, because again, I'm suspicious of some profit taking coming into the marketplace today. But as long as rates continue to roll higher, and we know that they are, the obvious play is to the downside. But the key is finding good trade locations when the market is exhibiting some degree of strength. You can take a look at Wednesday, weekly kickoff high. Overnight, weekly kickoff high. Yesterday, couldn't get to weekly kickoff high, continuing the push to the downside. I don't want to step in front of this, but I'm really cautious to get caught short in the hole. We don't want to do that. Natural gas got a good look above the swing high from a while back. That is kind of a secondary weekly kickoff high. This was a weekly kickoff high, but we went through it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The market is still exhibiting tendencies of a healthy upside auction. Look at the volume continuing to increase day over day. Open interest continuing to increase day over day, adding 7,600 in open interest just yesterday. We may, of course, we were kind of looking at this in a lot of different markets. We may be getting a little bit too long to continue this rally. We may need to consolidate or a pullback. Being Friday, looking at the action this week, it would not be unreasonable to see a decent sized pullback, or at least a day where we just may go into a upside digestion. We got a chance to accept above that second weekly kickoff, that previous swing high here. Where was that? 645 and change. Take a look at the 30-minute chart, and we'll get down to business. That's not it. Here's the 30-minute chart. So overnight inventory a little bit to the long side, above weekly kickoff high, unable to open above it. We didn't close above it. We didn't even open above it. We don't have a gap. If we did, it's been closed. So now it becomes, all right, are we going to accept inside range from yesterday? If we're going to accept inside range, are we going to accept inside value, which puts forth the value area special situation play? And that would be a decent enough pullback for us to, I think, to adjust some inventories and get us ready for a continuation move to the upside. And any and all of this is contingent on headline risks, headline news. Anything that comes out can seriously change any of these markets. Oil news. Finland to release 369,000 barrels of crude oil to the market from emergency supply. 369, magical number of barrels. Interesting. Is there a response? Yeah, it looks like if that's brand new news, it's driven the market back into value from yesterday. It looks like our opening range trade remains the high of the session, and it does. So we may be looking at a value area special situation play at some point here today. All right. Happy Chicago White Sox opening day, and my son is going to the home opener next week. He's very excited about that. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Mom. She typed in a U. Good. It's good to see you, Mom. I love you very much, and we'll be up to see you soon. Yeah, bear trends seem to have the most vicious rallies, it seems. My pleasure, Expediter Dean. Zach, thanks for the information. Always good to get information from your friends, right? We're going to get by with a little help from our friends. So we've made it to Friday. My goal is usually just to try and make a little money and then hang up the trading for the week. I think we should give ourselves all a round of applause for making it to Friday this week. Thank you. Very good. And we'll look forward to finishing up the week strong, hopefully, and we'll see you back here on Monday for the market forecast, not the recap first thing in the morning. That's going to be confusing, isn't it? All right, so on that note, let's take our deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, and creative. This weekend, be good to yourselves, be good to others, be kind, keep praying for peace, and have a great weekend. On that note, I'm going to go. Sounds like I broke something. Have a great trading day. Have a great weekend. Again, keep praying. And I will see you Monday morning. Take care.